In the near term, you have panics, and the panics cause like risk off events. Like people panic because inflation is really high, and so they sell the inflation hedge. Inflation is really high, the government can't get it under control, so there's a panic, so people sell the inflation hedge.
Hello and welcome to Smart Tech Ideas. In today's video, Bitcoin bull and CEO of MicroStrategy Michael Saylor updates about the current market performance of Bitcoin, the collapse of Terra Luna, and its impact on other stablecoins. Saylor also addresses the issue of regulation in Bitcoin space and why holding Bitcoin is the most rational thing for an investor's portfolio. Make sure to stick around till the end of this video where Michael Saylor also reveals if he'll ever sell his Bitcoin. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the post notifications. So without wasting any time, let's dive right into the video.
This crash is going to cause a lot of clarity to form there. First, the community is getting educated, right? I bet you everybody in the crypto community today knows the difference between a dollar in the bank and UST. We saw last week Tether had to redeem billions and billions of dollars of Tether, and they could, right? So they could. But if you'd actually tried to redeem $7 billion of UST in a couple of days, well, people tried to do that and they couldn't. So I think the industry got educated, but also I think that there's a lot of people that would like to issue stable coins, like Caitlin Long's bank would like to issue stable coins. And if you look at the banks like Silvergate and Signature, they're FDIC insured banks, but they can't issue stable coins. And if you look at JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs and Citigroup, they can't issue stable coin. Now, if you roll the clock back 6 months, the president's working group put out a memo on stable coins. And when they put out the memo, they said, we'd like for FDIC institutions to issue stable coin. Now, putting aside whether you agree with that or not, there's been a regulatory deadlock on Capitol Hill, because in the 6 months after they put out that memo saying they think that banks should issue stablecoins, no bank issued a stablecoin. And that's because the president's working group memo said, well, Congress should pass the law making this.
Bitcoin price projections for 2022 have plummeted as macro pressures combine with black swan events such as the Terra implosion to send sentiment to near record lows. While many argue that a capitulation event will enter in the coming months to send Bitcoin to $20,000 or under, Saylor believes that underlying strength is worth paying attention to now. It's a risk-on asset, so to the extent that Nasdaq and Bitcoin rally, it's helping us become more comfortable that the market's already bottomed. At the same time, he brushed off the Terra debacle and redundancies at major crypto companies, including United States exchange Coinbase, saying that Bitcoin was acting far better than people expect.
The regulators need to provide more clarity on this issue of stable coins, and they also need to provide more clarity on the requirements for a crypto security. It's clear that Luna was a crypto security. The reason it's a security is there's an issuer, and there's someone that can make decisions. And if I can actually make decisions, if I can take $3 billion and buy Bitcoin, and then I can take the same Bitcoin and sell it, think about MicroStrategy. Like if I just sold all of MicroStrategy's Bitcoin and I didn't tell you, right? Or if I bought twice as much and I didn't tell you, I would be changing the nature of the security. I have, kind of an obligation to disclose that, an ethical obligation as well as a legal obligation to disclose what I'm doing when I can actually impact the value of the securities held by the public.
Meanwhile, unapologetically bullish was MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor, whose own comments to mainstream media firmly brushed aside any suggestion of permanent price downside. Those who claimed that Bitcoin would be banned or go to zero had already been discredited. If the deniers are wrong and the skeptics are wrong, and it's pretty obvious they're both wrong at this point, it's not going to zero, and if it's not going to zero, it's going to a million Saylor forecast. While nothing new, Saylor being very bullish on where we go from here increasingly grates with the downbeat perspective on risk assets across the board in the new era of central bank monetary tightening. As Cointelegraph recently reported, some believe that it will take until the next block subsidy halving in 2024 for a meaningful price recovery to enter. Saylor, meanwhile, said that when it comes to buying more BTC for its existing reserves, there was no point in timing the market.
For example, if you'd asked the same question to Jeff Bezos in 2003 and said, like you just had an 80% loss in Amazon, do you ever wish you sold Amazon in the year 2001? Jeff Bezos could have sold Amazon in the year 2000 and avoided a 95% loss. So I think that that trying to time the market is a trader mentality. But if you look at all the richest people in the world, they're not traders. If you look at statistical analysis of Bitcoin or the S&P, I think the conclusion generally is that like 80% of your returns come in like 1% of the days. So if you miss the top 3 days of a year, you might lose 80% of your return. If you miss the top 6 days, you lose it all.
Yeah.
So the way this is going to work is it's going to look like you're not making a lot of money 98% of the time. And then you're going to wake up one day and you're going to find out that the sovereign wealth fund of some Middle Eastern country just bought $10 billion of Bitcoin. It's going to double or it's going to triple. And then you're going to be kicking yourself and screaming, saying, oh, well, I could have bought it at blank and I didn't buy it at blank. And you'll be angry.
It is no secret that the co-founder and CEO of MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, stands among the keenest advocates of the primary cryptocurrency. In recent years, he has outlined its merits, including its ability to act as a hedge against inflation. Even though Bitcoin currently trades far away from its all-time high levels from last year, Saylor remains bullish on it. In an interview for CNBC, he claimed that its near-term volatility is not a concern as it will prevail in the long run. In his view, the crypto space is divided into deniers, skeptics, and Bitcoin supporters. The first two groups insist that the asset is either not real or that the government will sooner or later ban it. In Saylor's view, they are both wrong. Instead of going away or dumping to zero, BTC will shoot up to $1 million, he added. The American opined that Bitcoin is unique as there is no network in the world that has its level of adoption or its level of security.
If I just told you, I bought some Bitcoin, but I also bought some ice cream trucks. I might also have bought some Luna. How would that have worked out? There are thousands and thousands of public companies. People want to invest in something that they understand, that they can trust. So if you're going to be a theme park company, that's what you should do. If you're going to be a movie company, if you're going to be an oil company, you should be a pure play and you should focus, in a laser-like way on that. That allows a rational investor to put you in their portfolio. For example, like maybe you hate Bitcoin. If MicroStrategy has a strategy, which is we're long Bitcoin, we're levered long Bitcoin, well, then that's good, right? Because now you can short us.
So what do you think about Bitcoin's performance in recent days? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.